have one of the highest efficiency at the farm with almost zero waste. The efficiency is something which is more important than the scale. We start thinking that if few kids with the basic system with very good seeds and it was successful, what could be done as the level of an engineer, teaching the kids, teaching the people, like that's what keeps me alive.
People sometimes come to you and ask for health advice.
But if we do organic farming without saving the water, does it make sense? We need to protect and save the ecosystem. You don't own the farm owns you. That's only a pipe and few pipe drip system. When we opened it, they were all screaming and jumping. They were so proud.
Welcome to Impact Talk, the podcast spotlighting changemakers from the Arab world who are redefining success in business. Today, my guest is Mohammed Aissaoui, the founder of MyFarmDubai, a sustainable organic farm that has become a thriving hub for education, community, and climate resilience in the UAE. From growing vegetables in the desert to partnering with Michelin stars chefs and building a seed bank of over 1,600 varieties, Mohammed's story is one of radical change, bold vision, and deep-rooted purpose. We're going to talk about the realities of sustainable agriculture, the power of reconnecting with nature, and why community matters just as much as crops. Mohammed, welcome to Impact Talk.
Thank you, Nadine. Thank you for welcoming us.
It's my pleasure. So, Mohammed, you have a very interesting story because you were working as an electronics engineer. Then you took a bold leap to start your own farm in Dubai. It's quite of an unconventional career path. What was the turning point in your life or career that inspired such a radical shift?
Yeah, exactly. It was actually, I grew up in a farm in the south of France. My grandfather was farmer. I was born in this farm. I grew up in this farm. My grandmother, she was cooking as well, the things that my grandfather was growing. So I grew up in this kind of atmosphere. Even if I became an engineer, later on, let's say the seeds sprouted, and I wanted to go back to my DNA, which is farming. And the idea with my farm was to combine the traditional method that my grandfather was using at the farm and the technologies which we are able to use right now in this century, but the technologies which are safe, the technologies which are not harmful for the environment or even for us. So yeah, I took the challenge to combine those two atmospheres and try to make organic farming easier for us first, but also for the people around us that people are struggling around the world in the farming sector. So we have to support the community to grow better, grow more, and use less energy.
Mohammed, you told me the story of how it started a couple of years ago. You told me you were living in a community and you're married, you have kids,
Yes.
and you wanted to kind of teach your kids, how to, connect with the land and start, growing crops. So
Exactly.
tell us more about,
So
the story.
I came to the UAE as an engineer without thinking about opening a farm or doing a business on farming, on agriculture. But when I came here, I took the seeds from my grandfather's farm, around 150 varieties, without this idea to make a business, only to keep the heritage. You can be the best scientist, you can't create the seeds. So we have to protect this heritage. I took it with me, and one day the neighbors, the kid neighbors, our kids, they were looking for doing some activities, and one very small landscape place in front of our house was empty. The irrigation was there, but it was only sand. So we said, okay, let's try it. Let's do a kind of workshop for the kids. And we took the seeds. Some of the kids were between 1.5 to 6 years old. And the first thing they did, they were digging, putting the seeds. They were experimenting. And even some people were saying it's not going to work. But a few months later, it was showing that the plant were producing, even it wasn't done properly. But we start thinking that if few kids with the basic system, with very good seeds, and it was successful. What could be done as at the level of an engineer with the technology that we do have actually to make it happen.
A very interesting story. And so from there, how? Because now you have MyFarmDubai. You're also working as a consultant, for, government, other farmers. So how big it is right now?
Actually, I only accepted the challenges when they came. The UAE is a country of opportunities, and we were growing in our farm, and some even farmers were visiting us, and they were struggling and saying how to do that, how to make it happen. So we started the consultation as well. So we help people to grow their own food and veggies in their garden, but also the B2B business to make to optimize their own farm. And then later on to join our platform, so we can be a very strong farmer community, and not only the farmers but also the beekeepers. Also, there are different people making cheese. The idea is to create a community around the farm that work with the same mindset and with the same vision, and create very high level local produce.
Mohammed, can you explain us the challenges of farming in the desert? Because you're based in Dubai, we live in the UAE. The weather is very different from other regions. So can you explain us what does it mean, and what are the key challenges that you have to face?
Exactly. If you look a few days ago, we almost reached 50 degrees. So we are in a desert climate. The soil is sand. The temperature can go very high during the day, a bit lower at night. So the amplitude are very different. So that it's challenging not only for us, but also for the plants, for the animals. So as a farmer, we need to understand that. And on the other side, we need to explain it to our clients. We have to be able to communicate what's happened in the farm to our clients, which are expecting to get the delivery today or maybe tomorrow. So that the challenges that we can have in the UAE, particularly in a world that, right now you just click on an app and you get your order 20 minutes later. That's not possible with the ecosystem. We need to listen to it, we need to adapt to it, and we need to collaborate with it.
Yeah, and I guess it's us human beings that need to adapt, and it's not the other way around. I mean,
Exactly.
we adapt to nature.
Exactly, completely.
Can you explain us, because MyFarmDubai is an organic farm. So what does it mean, and what's the difference between traditional farming and what you do?
So even traditional farming can waste a lot of energies. If you take the example of water system, in a sustainable farm, you're going to calculate exactly each drop of water have to go to a plant or a tree. In traditional farming, it can be, just they fill the land with huge amount of water. To give number, the first farm that we took as a pilot, with the same amount of water in 1 year, we increased by 3 the production. So we multiply by 3 the scale. With the same amount of water, nothing more. So we can use technology to make it more efficient. Once we reach the efficiency, a high efficiency level, we can talk about business, we can talk about sustainability and all of that. But if we do organic farming without saving the water, it doesn't make sense. We need to protect and save the ecosystem. We need to reduce our impact and talk about it. It's not enough to say that when you have a shower, it's 150 liters. 150 liters can feed how many plants? So if we use an organic soap, you could feed your trees. So that's what the kind of reflection we had at the farm, and that's why we created different products to connect, like the soap. We were able to wash our hands with the pure organic soap that we made at the farm to recycle the water for the trees. That's a kind of loop. We are part of it, and we try to avoid disturbing it.
So water is one aspect. What about zero waste? Because I think you're big into, zero waste.
Exactly.
Can you tell us more about that?
It's completely linked to efficiency. The day that you have a company, you have to be efficient. It doesn't matter to grow in scale if you are not efficient. Farming now, to give you a number, it's about 50% waste Imagine that
It's huge.
It's huge. It's huge. We are almost at zero right now because we align with the chefs on their needs. If they need 20 kilo of this, we're gonna grow this 20 kilo. A bit more, a bit less. The chef need to understand what we are doing and our challenges. We try to do more. The extra production go to the platform online, so the people like you and I have access to it. And if it's still not, sold, we have the capacity to dry, to transform, to extract the oil or whatever, to do beauty product. Like if we take the example of the rosemary, we supply hotels and restaurants with a fresh one. If we still have more, we dry it. So we use it for the spices. If we still have too much spices, we take it for the soap. We do have an organic soap made out of rosemary. And at the end, if we still have too much soap, we take the rosemary oil for the hair growth. So people use it as a medicine. So you see, we try to connect the farm with different topic, different things, and we are still learning.
You grow what you need at the farm, like vegetables, as you said, herbs, plants, based on the demand, because you mentioned the chefs, from big restaurants we have here in Dubai. So do you go to them and say, hey, what do you need? And this is how, MyFarmDubai can supply.
Exactly. We are not easy. We are not easy because our environment is not easy. That's as simple as it is. We are not, the first year we were producing a mass quantity of tomato. It was successful. The year 2, it wasn't, because most of the farm around us were growing tomato as well. So everyone jumped into the opportunity. We try to organize, even with our farm partners, to collaborate with them, to organize, have a planification, and understand that you are better doing cucumber, I'm not going to do it. I'm better doing tomatoes, I'm going to focus on tomatoes, and you give me the priority to do it. So then we can also work together to optimize and not jump together into the same variety, and the day that it's available, we're going to kill the price just to sell it because we don't know what to do with it. So it's very, very important to build a farmer community as well.
I've never been to your farm, and I think I must visit the
yes,
farm in
welcome.
Winter. So let's wait a couple of months because I want to really kind of visualize, understand, and also for our audience to understand the ecosystem that you're building within the farm. So what do you have? What are the the plants that vegetables that you grow? You said I think you have animals too. So can you just explain the?
So the story starts to build a farm. I grew up next to a forest. If you study a forest, if you look at it, no one maintain, no irrigation system, no pesticide, no one cut, no one plant, nobody sanitize or remove the leaves. And finally, you will find in this forest the highest density of green. We try to get this kind of inspiration to copy it for our food production. And that the DNA of our seeds, they were growing naturally by themselves. So when we build the farm, it's very important to not forget that. And the way that we build the farm, we start first from the soil. We build the soil. How to build the soil? We grow the grass for our animals. They produce waste. The waste is going to the compost area. We do produce a lot of green waste. 90% is green waste, 10% from the animals. We take this compost, we ferment it for 12 months. This compost is the best fertilizer on the earth. We feed the soil feed the plant feed us and feed the animals, and again. So we create loops, and the idea is to use on top of that, the permaculture system. So
what is it? What is permaculture?
Permaculture, it's a system that you're gonna use big trees to protect smaller. You're gonna combine the plant together. One is going to protect another one. So, for example, if I take the example of the palm trees, or even cedar, which is a known tree in the UAE, cedar is going to grow as a big tree. We're gonna put a little bit smaller tree next to it. It can be a lemon. And then we're going to put a hibiscus from Bali next to it. And then we're going to put rocket leaves at the bottom. We're going to put rosemary next to it. So we create a kind of layers from a top one, which is very strong, create shade around it. And the sun is moving around. So the shade is going to protect most of the plant in different timing, of course. The idea is we are in desert, so we need a wind protection also. In the desert, we spoke about the challenges. The wind is one of the most dangerous challenge the wind is very challenging in the desert, because if you have the heat plus the wind, you dry the leaves, you dry the plant. You can kill everything with the wind. So we have this kind of plant blocking the wind. We use the sugar cane. We got a gift of sugarcane from India. We create a kind of barrier for the wind. So the wind can't, it's not completely blocked. We create some way, a path, so the wind can go through the lines, but not drying the plant straight away. So it's very important to combine the plant which are resilient, the plant which are not. So we are able right now to grow in a farm pilot up to 250 varieties in the same location, in a high density level.
How many square meters?
About 1,000 square meters, to give you a scale. But we can do much more. We did farm up to 15 hectares on the same, maybe a bit more organized to be as a production for the hotels or the chefs or the platform. But the main project is about to combine and multiply the varieties. So even if you have pest issues, you're going to have pest issues in one variety or two, but not in all of them. So you reduce the risk and you optimize the production on the farm.
It's a whole system that you put in place. For me, it's a whole new world. So it's fascinating.
Thank you.
I want to talk about community, because this is what I found also very interesting, in what you're building, Mohammed, because your farm is much more than a place to grow vegetables, because you host also workshops, dinners, educational programs. So I want to ask you, why is community so central to your mission?
You started saying that this word is new to you. So that's what we try to do. We try to bring people around the table and show them what's happening with our ecosystem. Even if we are in the, let's say, worst scenario for farming in a desert climate, if those plants are growing here, that because there is a reason for that. We are working hard to make it happen. We want people to realize that's possible. We have the technology to make it easier. Now we have this challenge to educate the next generation as well. It's not enough to grow the best tomato or the most beautiful veggies. We also need people to understand how to do it, how to grow it. Our time is limited here. If I keep these knowledges, for me, it's useless. So we need to be able to transfer these knowledges, but not only about farming, about herbal medicine. It's about cooking. It's about beekeeping. Why protecting the bees? Most of the students, if you tell them, protect the bees, it's like a slogan, or do not waste water. Why exactly? What the reason for that? Most of the people wash their cars every day, but they do not realize the reason, what could be done with the same amount of water. That's where come this challenge of the farmer is in a central place, but the farm can do a lot of things, a lot of products.
Can you give us an example of community projects? Because I found that also very interesting in the work you do. It's farming, but it's also bringing, these, methods and knowledge, as you said, to more like urban communities.
Exactly.
Do you have any example that you could share?
I would like to start with the schools, the Arbor School, King School, the English College. We work deeply in collaboration with schools to bring the farming program into it, and that should be mandatory. I do believe
I agree.
that should be something that we I would love to learn it. I mean, when I was young, it's not only about farming, it's about taking care of baby chicken, the chicks we talk about the cycle of life from the egg to the chicken, but most of the kids, they never see it. They live in a building, in a city, urban environment. So they do not really realize we are not alone in this planet. And the second project that I'm really proud, that's with Sharjah Architecture in Sharjah Al Qasimiya. We did a school with all the football court and the basketball court. It was abandoned. We turned it into the first urban farm, and we use it as a pilot, and we use it to connect the community. We did the first phase with our staff to train them, to show them how to make it happen, because the challenge was not only to build the farm, but to build the community, which is a completely different topic. Now, the phase 2, the community is building the farm. So we got kids, mothers, and grandmothers and grandfather around the same activity, which is very difficult to do right now. If you take your kids, yourself, and your parents, it's very difficult to align on the same activity. And we managed to do it at the farm. We managed to bring people around the table and make a plan, prepare the soil, prepare the irrigation system. So we had kids cutting the pipes, putting the glue, fixing the irrigation, and they were like 5 years old. Preparing the plan of the seeds with the planification, planting the trees, and now they are learning how to do the maintenance organically, of course. So it's very important to involve the community so they understand our challenges first, and also I have to be fair that I'm getting a lot of inspiration from that. Like that's what keeps me alive. The business that we run as for the hotels and the restaurant are very challenging. It's things which are very automatic, but that's not what I'm done for. I'm done for teaching the kids, teaching the people.
I love that, Mohammed. Really, I love that because I like the fact that when you think about community activities or bringing the community together, we kind of like inspiration from what's usually I see, going on, and bringing these different generations, and especially also for the kids to, like, practically speaking, seeing the efforts, seeing things happen, on the ground. I mean, it's amazing. It's really amazing.
You should see the kids and the people when we switch on the irrigation system. That's something very simple, really. But that's only a pipe and few pipe drip system. When we open it, it was like in silent, like you have like 40 people in completely silent mode. And then when the water comes and there is no leak, they were all screaming and jumping. They were so proud. So that's the kind of things we need to bring back to this kind of urban environment. And even if it's challenging, right now we have no excuses. We are in a city that we have the highest tower of the world, and we are still questioning ourselves about basic technologies which we can use for farming, so we can make it happen.
And you made it happen with the work you're doing in Dubai. So this is really amazing.
Thank you.
It kind of connects to my next question about coming back to nature, because you said to me something that was quite surprising, is that people sometimes come to you and ask for health advice, something honestly you don't expect as a farmer. So how does reconnecting with the land and nature impact people's health and overall well-being in your view?
We do have many people in the city that they are focusing in their work. They don't take the time to eat properly. They don't drink water, or they drink a lot of soft drink and things like that. At certain point, your body is going to react, and sometimes it can come as an eczema, lose your hair. It can be issues on sleeping, fertility. We can't lie to our system. We can't lie to our ecosystem. We are here to bring back a little bit this kind of basic things, and that sometimes it needs just a very small adjustment to fix it.
Basic but essentials.
Exactly.
We're in the UAE and food security is on top of the agenda, as you know. So, do you believe that local farming can scale enough to contribute meaningfully to the country's food supply?
We are a very small company, but we managed to do it. I was saying that we are in a city that we have the highest tower of the planet, and I do not believe that it's no more challenging. We have to do it. Look at the situation around the world right now. It's not a question. We have to sustain ourselves. We have to be able to produce and to turn this 80% import, at least reduce it. Because if we are able to do it as a small company, in a bigger scale, we could do much better.
Do you think we are on track for that? Like
100%.
based on you've been in this industry for like 5 years now, something like
almost 8 years. Yes.
Almost, sorry, 8 years.
5 years in business, true, because the first 3 years were like more pilot. I wasn't even myself understanding that was, I was still engineer, and I didn't expect that we could get a revenue. I could live from my passion. I mean, I could enjoy it, make it happen, and work as a business and be a CEO of my farm. My farm was built by the kids in front of our house, and I never expected to turn it into a business. As you said, once people understand it, when you realize that possible, you make it happen. But that's our challenge now, is to make people realize that it's possible to grow your food in your own garden. If you can't do it, we can help you to do it. We are supporting chefs also to do it for their own restaurant. So they grow very specific herbs and produce for them. So the challenge now is to make people understand, aware about what's happening. And it's no more a question. We can do it. It's about scale. We spoke about efficiency at the beginning. We do have one of the highest efficiency at the farm, with almost zero waste. The leftover even goes to our own kitchen. I eat the tomato when they are cracked. So the efficiency is something which is more important than the scale. If you have something that run for 1,000 and gives you 999.9, the waste is very minimal. But if you have 1,000 and get the value only of 500, 50% is a waste. So that's what we try to reduce as much as possible. Then you can scale it with no issues.
Amazing. You give me the feeling that you're democratizing farming.
We try.
For, citizens and anyone, basically. So
I think it's something that we need to connect. We need people. I mean, not even we, but our clients, they call us, and the first thing they say that I want to go back to something more natural. Even if they have only a balcony, they take the big planter boxes, the raised bed, and they start growing few things that can be a basil, that can be a rosemary, thyme, or herbs. I mean, if you think about it as an economic value, it doesn't make sense. But you need to do it. You need to learn how to do it. The value is not the plant itself. The value is what you are doing, what you are learning. And the day that you are ready and you have a villa, a property with a garden or a bigger space, you can scale it also.
Let's end our conversation, Mohammed, by a fireside chat. So I want very short answers. I have 4 questions for you. What's your favorite go-to place in Dubai?
Urban or natural?
Up to you.
For me, I will choose the desert.
How often do you go to the desert?
Unfortunately, not much. But when I go there, it's like, for me, a place where it's completely silent. You can hear the wind. You look at the sun. You can feel the time when the sunset. And you question yourself. It's like a reset for me.
Amazing. What does a farmer do when he's not farming?
I'm cooking. I love cooking. I'm passionate about food. I got that from my grandma, I believe. I'm trying to also keep in mind that farmers are very busy during the season. So I try to give back the time to my family, my friends. So it's a kind of things that I like to,
Amazing. What's the biggest life lesson farming has taught you?
Wow. I do believe that you don't own the farm owns you.
Uh-huh.
I don't believe that you own the animals. That's the opposite as well. That the same for the seeds, the same for the plant, same for the trees. We only collaborate with them.
And lastly, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs in sustainability?
We spoke many times about efficiency. Try to be efficient in your try to be focused as well. Sometimes we go left and right, we lose the attention. Try to be surrounded by the good people. Nothing gonna happen alone. At the beginning at my farm, I did the mistake to focus sometimes too much. We need to focus, of course, but at certain point, you need to open your hands, open your eyes, and look around and listen to people, what they are doing, what they can bring to the table, and collaborate.
Thank you so much, Mohamed.
Thank you,
That
Nadine.
was such an inspiring conversation.
Thank you, Nadine.
Thank you for tuning in to Impact Talk. If you enjoyed my conversation with Mohammed Aissaoui, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. You can watch this episode on YouTube. We have subtitles both in Arabic and English, or listen on all the major podcast platforms. Search for Impact Talk with Nadine Zidani. Impact Talk is powered by Mina Impact, so visit minaimpact.ae to learn more about our work in advancing sustainability and innovation in the Arab world. And until next time, keep driving impact wherever you are.